Today, I'm going to talk to you about something that I first learned about a couple of years ago. And this, what I'm talking about, is 3D printing technology in the construction of new homes. I think this is extremely fascinating. So, I thought I'd share with you what I've learned so far about this. Because this is an innovative process that's pretty much like if you have a 3D builder, a 3D printer at home that you can use to print chess pieces, toys, new door handles, or whatever you use it for. This is just on a slightly bigger scale. It's a tool that uses digital blueprints to build homes layer by layer, just like your home 3D printer would do. And it is a promise of a faster build time, lower cost, and actually, believe it or not, greater sustainability potentially in the construction of new homes. So the question is, will 3D printed homes become the standard of the future? I think it will. And if you want to learn more about what I've learned about this topic, then stay with me for a little while. My name is Bent Danholm, and I am a real estate broker here in Central Florida. I've helped countless people buy and sell in the area, and also helped a lot of people buy new construction. And I'm also always very fascinated about what happens in any type of technology these days. I think AI is extremely fascinating. 3D printing is extremely fascinating, and now 3D printing for new construction. I think that is mind blowing that they can do this, and I think it's actually a good thing. I think it's to me it seems like it's a future. But let's get into it and see what's really going on. Because 3D printed homes are no longer just an experimental thing. It's not no longer just a thought in somebody's mind. There are actually companies like Icon, Cobot, and Apis Core that are already using this technology to construct affordable housing, even multi-story buildings, and sustainable homes made from natural materials. So we're not just talking about plastic homes, or I don't know if you can 3D print in aluminum, but it's we're talking about homes made from natural materials, just like they would in the good old days, except this is on a much bigger scale and a much faster, a much faster process. We're not talking about centuries to build the pyramids. We're talking about maybe a week to build the pyramids in this case. So this is really truly fascinating. And I know that some builders are already working with some of these 3D printing companies. I'm pretty sure that Lennar is building a whole community in Texas using 3D printed homes. So this is something that's definitely coming to us. And so these, what are still pioneers in this industry, they are really truly proving that 3D printing can be a game changer in residential construction. So how does this all work? Well, there are apparently as to what I've been able to find out, there are two primary 3D printing systems that dominate the construction space. They're what they call robotic arm printers, which allows for very intricate designs. So basically, you can construct two very different homes with the same machine very quickly, because you can make different columns, you can make different texture on the outer walls, you can make different designs. So they can do basically everything into very, very small detail. And then they're what they call the gantry systems, which are known for the speed and more for the large scale production. So I presume they would mostly be used for multifamily homes, multi-story building that usually don't have that much of individual flair to them. And concrete is obviously the most common building material because it's easy to work with, it's solid, it's stable. But there are actually also innovations in bio-based and recycled materials that are expanding possibilities for building much greener homes than we're used to, on a much larger scale than we're used to. So why 3D printed homes, and how are they changing market? Well, first of all, they're changing the market in terms of affordability, because let's face it, if you have a 3D printer, there are a lot of people on a building site that you don't need. You only basically need somebody to operate the crane. I'm maybe being a little bit extreme here, but you only need a very few people. You need people to feed the machine with material. You need people to move the finished product in place, but you don't really need a lot of people. You don't need bricklayers. You don't you probably don't even need painters for the exterior at least. So you're saving a lot of labor cost here. You're also wasting a lot less material, so that all leads to lower construction costs. So we could be seeing, Well, let's face it, this is America. We could be seeing two things. We could see builders making a lot more money, or we could see a lot more affordable homes, or maybe a combination of that. Another thing that also is cost saving and uh, as well is the speed. Homes can be printed in just days. It won't take months to build a home. You could basically, I have been told that some of these 3D printing companies, they can basically raise a home from ground zero up to a fully finished home, except for the interior, in less than 2 days. And you can, with 3D printing, you can mass produce in and customize at the same price at the same time, because you can easily, because the printing is done on site, it's done in on a house to house basis, so you can personalize layouts, you can personalize exterior looks, you can personalize interior looks without skyrocketing cost, because basically it's just a matter of programming the machine to that new look that you as a buyer have decided on. So even if you don't use eco-friendly materials to build the homes, it's still a step towards a more sustainable building industry, because there's less waste. But if you combine that less waste with using eco-friendly materials that apparently are a lot easier to work with on 3D printing machines than they are in traditional building, then you can easily move toward a more sustainable building industry. There are obviously, like with everything else in life, some challenges to overcome, because despite its promise of doing a lot of goods, there are some hurdles in terms of regulatory approvals. Some counties apparently are a little bit more hesitant to approve 3D printing to documents. Some of the techniques also need to go through more structural testing, but I'm sure this is basically something that can easily be overcome over time. And I assume, which is not something I actually found in my research for this video, but I assume there's also a cost that's quite significant in getting the technology on site in the first place. It also seems to be a little bit of a challenge to properly integrate utilities like plumbing and electricity sometimes. But again, you're printing this from a machine, and anybody who's ever tried to play with a 3D printer at home will know that that is not a big deal. You can easily overcome things like that. You just need to figure out how to program the thing. So, what does this mean for Central Florida? Well, with all the building going on and the increasing need for affordable housing here, we are actually a prime location for 3D printed homes. So, as this technology evolves, these builders could offer buyers in Central Florida faster, more affordable new homes. So the future of 3D printed homes, in my mind, is very bright. I don't think that traditional construction is going anywhere, because there'll always be people who would like handcrafted homes, like they want handcrafted everything else. But for the mass-produced homes, I think 3D printing is something that will at least complement. And even if the whole home is not 3D printed, there'll be homes that have a mixture of 3D printed parts with traditional building in it. And there will also be wholly 3D, fully 3D printed homes. And it'll definitely help to make homes more affordable. And there's a path to a more sustainable housing market with 3D printing. So, as everybody from builders to investors to policymakers adapt to this new technology, it could actually totally and completely reshape the housing market anywhere in the country, and especially here in Central Florida and beyond. So, my question for you today is: would you live in a 3D printed home? Are you sort of a little bit weary about what this whole thing is, and thinking, no, I don't. I only want to live in a more traditionally built home? Are you looking to embrace this technology? Say, hey, heck yeah! If I can get a home that's just as good, but it's 3D printed and it's cheaper, I'll take that. Just like I would prefer to buy an artificial diamond, because it looks just as beautiful and actually probably more flawless than a natural one, and it's a lot cheaper. So why would I pay more for something if I didn't have to? So what's your view? Do you like the new technology? Would you like to stay with the old way of printing homes, not printing homes, building homes? I would really like to hear your comments in below this video. Thank you. So, and also, if you like this video or my other videos, how about following me, subscribe to my channel, maybe ring that little notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. And definitely, if you like this video, give it a like. It helps me, it helps the algorithm. It's perfect. If you like it, it will get me going for making new videos. And if you want to know more about how you can get a 3D printed home or any other home here in Central Florida, please contact me for a free and absolutely no obligation consultation. You can always reach me on 407-288-0704. That's 407-288-0704. That's my cell phone number. I usually answer that 7 days a week. Or you can just drop a comment below and I'll reach out to you. Or send me an email. My contact information will be below. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.